Greetings and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Run, and today we're playing as Maggie. It's Booster Pack Day, and it's so exciting because I love these little content benches for the game, and especially because they add community-made items and they just kind of commemorate the creators in some degree. And I'm not saying that just because one of my items got added, even though that's obviously quite a huge privilege, and it's very nice to know that one of my ideas, even though it's not an original idea, it's obviously taken from the Matrix, but now that item is commemorated and exists in the game for everyone to enjoy. And that's like I said, that's a really huge privilege. And I know that it's nothing special, or maybe it doesn't even mean that much to you, but I'm really thankful for everyone who watches these videos, who supports me, who plays the game, obviously, and is just a part of this nice little community that we have going for ourselves. But in this particular case, we have a daily going on, which is a fun one. It's an interesting one because it's something that I haven't seen before. I'm not sure if this is a synergy that existed prior to this, or if this is a synergy that was added in the booster pack last night and just added this daily just to showcase it. But you can see that we have Thunder Tides and we have How to Jump. And every time we land with How to Jump, we actually release a shockwave around us. It deals damage, it holds all the properties of the shockwave, so we can kill enemies with it, we can explode things, we can open up secret rooms and second secret rooms. And it's great, it's actually a really fun synergy. I really like these active synergies, active items where you have to use them in order to do something. And obviously a lot of skill is involved here because you have to know how fast you're moving, and then you land in a particular spot. You know you can't move for like half a second after that, so you have to be really careful with how you use it. But obviously there's also that benefit of just being able to have infinite bombs essentially and not wasting any of your consumables. So it's actually a really neat idea for a daily, especially we don't really have any item rooms, so I would say this is maybe a bit on the harder side. The biggest part of this is that we're very slow, and I even decided to pick up Small Rock because why wouldn't I? You know, I'm trying to stay in focus here and just kind of stay in the spirit of the daily, and just felt like making myself slower is gonna make it even more fun, and I think it did, at least in some degree. And we're at 0.4 speed, even with the speed up pill that Maggie now starts with, and it's a horrible speed. You can't dodge anything, so you kind of have to rely on that How to Jump in order to dodge enemies efficiently and also to traverse rooms. But there are still some rooms which you just really can't deal with because of your low movement speed, and the problem is that your shockwaves explode rocks and mushrooms as well, and there's always a chance that one of those will explode in your face and just deal damage passively to you in that way. So sometimes you can't really avoid damage, but at least we still have a nice experience on our hands here. So it's a fun one, but also a very frustrating and a very annoying one. You can see that I'm kind of at the edge of my seat here with only one red heart remaining, and I'm just trying to scour and get those spirit hearts. I missed one back there. That was a bit of a mistake on my part, but I'm just trying to play that machines, that just trying to get that last bit of health so I can actually survive and get to boss rush, hopefully, because I have an Emperor card, so I did plan to use it as fast as possible. But I was kind of afraid to go to the boss in this particular floor, because if there's a champion version of the boss, I know I was gonna struggle, and there's really no way for me to get out of it. So I decided to go to the boss trap room first, just in hopes maybe I would get a spirit heart there. And if it did turn out to be a really difficult one, then I always had the second chance of using the Emperor, going to the boss room and dealing with my actual boss, and hoping that one was gonna be a bit easier. But of course, now I have two Steam sales. No, I have one. I get the second one later. I have the Steam sale, and this will allow me to essentially use all of my money to play the fortune teller, and hopefully it's gonna give me a spirit heart. And it did, and it would have been great if I didn't walk into that stupid spike in that particular floor. And the problem was just because I'm so used to stopping whenever I enter a new room, except when I'm coming from the top. For some reason, when I'm coming from the top, I have less of a reaction time, or at least I don't have that innate muscle memory that I should stop before going forward. Left and right, no problem, but top and bottom are just directions, cardinal directions, which I'm not really that comfortable with. But it did turn out to be okay, because at least on this floor I got Diplopia, I was able to duplicate some spirit hearts, I was in a good position to go forward from there. I knew that I wasn't gonna make it to boss rush, but I was hoping if I do have two Steam sales, at least I have items for free now, so maybe I'm gonna be able to buy something, maybe some Mama Mega shows up, I'm not sure. But I was kind of finding solace in the fact that I imagine not a lot of people would perform that well in this daily, so I didn't have a bad time just experimenting, having a little bit of fun, and I discovered some new things. For example, did you know that you can't jump over red poops with How to Jump? I mean, you can jump over them, but they're gonna still deal damage to you. This is a fact I didn't know before, and at least it's nice to know for the future. So you have to destroy the red poop before you try to jump over it. It's a bummer, because I think it would just make sense for it to make you invincible during the arc of the jump and just to kind of propel you forward, but it doesn't work that way, and at least I learned something, if not anything else. And here, again, I could have made the decision in the previous floor to try and use the sacrifice room, and I think that would have been a wise choice, but I just decided I'm gonna make a bit of a gaffe, a bit of a goof. I'm just gonna make for that maybe once in a time glory play, hoping to find something really substantial, or maybe if I don't, at least I'll have a chance to have another sacrifice room on this floor, and that's exactly what happened. So me being a bit silly and making a bad decision actually did reward me in this particular case, because there was another sacrifice room here. I didn't find Mama Mega, so I wasn't able to get the boss rush, but at least I was still able to get to the dark room and get a lot of points that way. You can see that my health situation isn't that good, so I wasn't too comfortable doing this. But because there was that arcade, I knew that I could play it for a bit and donate a lot of keys to hopefully get a bit of chest, but also because I have a lot of bombs, I can blow up the blood machines and they can give me some hearts and things like that. So it did turn out to be a wise choice in the end, and I definitely did do some of the mental arithmetic just to check out that I had enough health. And I was kind of hoping for at least a little bit of a spirit heart payout, but I didn't really get any. The only thing I did get was one spirit heart, which wasn't too substantial because I was still able to get to the next floor with 3 red hearts in total, but also thankfully there was a second secret room which had 3 spirit hearts as well. So that kind of put me in a better position overall. It wasn't as tight as I expected it to be, but one thing that did definitely mess with me is just how slow I was, and thankfully because of the spike in this self-sacrifice room, I was able to take out the angel statue quite efficiently. I was kind of afraid to fight the first one, obviously, because I had less health, but I felt like I can deal with the second one. And I just teleported directly to the lamp because I felt like I wasn't definitely strong enough to deal with enemies, because there's so many enemies which I feel like rely on speed for you to dodge them, so something like double adversary, things like that are just impossible to deal with. And I just faced a double monster room, and I just felt like that was a bit too hard. I used the Emperor card, went directly to the lamp, and I'm just fighting him basically, and I did well for the first half of the fight, but the second half I'm just not actually doing that particularly good, just because he's doing some has some attacks, and I'm moving very slowly and I really can't dodge things, and it just did put me in a position where I couldn't do much, and then I just ended up getting hit and I ended up dying. But nevertheless, a very fun one, 92nd place, which isn't too terribly bad. At least we did complete the run in some sense, and obviously just going for the dark room in a run that goes to Mom's Foot is gonna give you enough points just to sustain. You can see that in total we got 20,000 points just from going to the dark room, so that's really gonna put us ahead of the curve, gonna leave us at least like the top 150 place. And this is how it's been always with Mom Dailies. If you can just get to the dark room, you're pretty much guaranteed to rank relatively well. And you know, if you didn't have a strong run maybe, or maybe if someone found a breaking run, at least we were able to guarantee ourselves that nice spot in the top of the leaderboards by doing this. And it was a bit of luck, it was a bit of skill, but ultimately I just feel like this run was there to show that Isaac can still be fun and a little bit silly at the same time sometimes. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and I hope to see you next time.